Welcome, everyone. My name is David Wood. I'm the Programs Director for Early Music America, and I would like to welcome and congratulate our emerging artists, AKOYA, Naomi Dumas, and Caitlin Kester. Congratulations for a wonderful premiere of this beautiful work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll sit here and I'm gonna ask you a few questions, but if anyone is joining us who would like to ask questions, they can put that, you all can put it in the chat there on YouTube, and we'll answer your questions as best as possible. So first thing is, how did you all decide to pair up?
Well, we were super lucky to be in our graduate studies together at Juilliard. And so that's when we first started playing together. And I remember countless times in practice rooms at Juilliard where we just would play something together and not say anything and just have this shared feeling of awe for the music and also how we felt together. Making music. And so I knew very early on that it was just such a special match for me personally between me and Naomi. And so that's sort of where we were born as a duo.
And how long have you been playing together?
So that would be since 2017 then. Yeah. Fall 2017 is when we started at Juilliard. So
almost 5 years.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, and it's very obvious from anyone who has just watched this video that you know, the compatibility between the two of you, and there's so much within those pieces where especially, you know, it's quite exposed with just the two parts, and many times you're just so in sync that I think I can see and hear what you're talking about that, you know, that ability, that the compatibility between the two of you. So so congratulations. What was it about, or what is it about this music by Graupner that appealed to you?
I've actually first found the music at the Amherst Early Music Festival. They always have a fair at the end of the festival, and I was looking for German music from the Baroque period, and I found this composer Graupner. Never heard about him before, and I thought, why not? It could be interesting to try something new. And I remember with Caitlin, so as she said, we would read music sometimes together, and we were preparing. So we played a recital in Montreal after our studies, the summer just after, and it was music centered around German composers that were active in Leipzig. So we had Bach, Telemann, Graupner, and we just decided to read these pieces. So that was 3 of the sonatas, and we just loved each one of them so much. We just we love playing with each other, but playing this music in particular was. And we had to pick one, and we had a really hard time just picking one for the program.
And that was just out of 3. We only had played 3 of the 5 violin sonatas together, and still we were like, how can we choose one? They're all so special and kind of lush and modern, and yeah.
And so when you were selecting for this project, what were your considerations in terms of which things to select? And also there's some arranging that you did. How did you make those decisions?
Yeah, well, so like we mentioned, there are 5 sonatas, right? 5 violin sonatas, 3, wait, make sure I'm doing my math right. 4 are for obbligato harpsichord, 1 continuo. And so we thought it would be nice to, you know, include some variety, and the continuo sonata 707 is our personal favorite. 708 is the one, you know, obbligato sonata that we chose, another favorite of ours. Though it's hard for us to choose favorites, but, you know, for the amount of time we've been playing these, they've just become especially beloved. For me, 708, it's just so all of the arpeggiation and everything. It just feels very like atmospheric and, I don't know, almost moving music, or like you're underwater or something. It's just very so different than anything else I've played for obligato harpsichord from this period. So yeah, we think it's very special. And then the piece that we arranged, Naomi found it, and we just thought it was so beautiful. And so we were like, oh, we have to play this together, even if it's not for harpsichord, you know. And so
yeah, it was originally composed originally composed for strings and solo violin, and
the pit strings, yeah.
Pit string, exactly, yeah. And on the harpsichord with lute stop, it just worked so well. So yeah.
Awesome. The sound also in the video is quite nice. And at first I thought, oh, there must be some reverb, but then I noticed that you're performing in what appears to be a very reverberant. Where were you recording those?
So we were in a church in Montreal called Saint Stanislas de Kostka. Quite the name. It's at the end of the video. But it was, yeah, there's a lot of beautiful churches in Montreal. And this was through a friend, Christoph, who we also mentioned at the end. A big thank you to him. He's also a harpsichordist. And we had the privilege to use his harpsichord and the space for this recording. So we're really grateful.
Yeah, and the church is massive. And so the sound was, yeah, we didn't, it gave so much.
You can really tell. You can really hear the space, and it worked so well with what you were doing. So speaking of that, and your filming locations, and have you done any of this kind of production before, either as your ensemble or with other ensembles?
For me personally, well, together, this was our first time doing something. You know, we've had live stream things and simpler recordings, but this was our first time as a duo, working with a videographer, a proper videographer, and for me personally, I believe it was also my first time in general, just working with someone so professional and such an artist in his own right, as a videographer. So it was a wonderful experience, and we're so happy that we got to do that for this music. Yeah.
And one cool thing about this kind of project, when we perform on stage, it's us and the audience. But when we're working with a videographer and here also a sound engineer, so we had Pascal Pichet on video and Haruka Nagata on sound, and really it's two additional artists that are involved in the whole process. So we're here making music, but there's the behind the scenes, behind the camera, behind the microphone, who are also making a piece of art. So it's really a teamwork. Yeah.
That's a great thing to point out, that obviously it's an ensemble of four that created what we were just able to witness. So if you were to maybe give advice or talk about the project for someone who hadn't done something before, are there things you learned? Were there things that were unexpected about the process?
Yeah, well, it was really valuable, an invaluable experience to do this, definitely. And I guess for me personally, thinking about our ensemble going through this process, I learned a lot about how we work together as an ensemble. And even though again, we've been playing together for quite a bit of time, and we so love playing together, doing this kind of work also brings out like different dynamics within our ensemble, and different roles that the two of us seem to embody together. And so I guess for me, it was a huge bonding experience for us as an ensemble, and strengthened us and gave us new tools that we discovered, sort of. So I would encourage any ensemble to just explore all of these different mediums together, because you'll find these new parts of yourselves as individual musicians and as collaborators, and and it brought out new things for us musically too, to we not just rehearse, not just do live performance, but have something recorded. And now from the last few weeks together, we've experienced both recording in this kind of medium, playing through whole movements, and you can't patch anything or whatever. And then we've also now done recording that's for a label, and where there is patching and all these different things that you're allowed to do. And so just exploring all of these different things together has I think grown us as an ensemble, and made us stronger. Yeah.
So speaking of recordings and everything, what's next on the horizon for you all? What are you doing in the near future, and what are some plans that you might have for the more distant future?
So, well, as Caitlin mentioned, we've been doing a recording with the label ATMA Classique, based in Montreal, based in Quebec, and we've recorded all 5 sonatas by Graupner for violin and harpsichord. So that should be coming out within the year. It'll be on digital platforms, and it's going to be available through ATMA, and also we have a website. So if people want to visit, there'll be information there as well. So that's one of our big projects. And otherwise, we plan to keep playing. We already have ideas for future albums and going into different genres as well. We love Graupner and German music, but we're thinking of going more into French music perhaps. And yeah, we have lots of ideas.
Something that's very important to us, part of our mission as an ensemble, is to continue the great work that so many ensembles we admire and so many of our mentors have done in bringing to the forefront more and more and more music from this, especially the 17th and 18th centuries, that is still little known or not published in modern score editions, or not recorded, not performed. So we already have a couple of composers who are on sort of batter up for us now, and we're about to start diving into, and actually directly post-recording in the last few weeks, we started reading some of this music together, and we're just so eager to keep going. So we're excited about that as well.
That's great. Yeah, and we're obviously eager to keep up with what you all are doing, and as the recordings come out. And also, Caitlin, you mentioned before we started earlier that you'll be at our Young Performers Festival with the San Francisco Conservatory of Music Baroque Ensemble, which is during our EMA's contributions to the Berkeley Festival and Exhibition, which is next week. EMA will be in San Francisco and Berkeley June the 8th through the 10th. And that particular concert is at 1 p.m. Pacific time in San Francisco on next Thursday. So we'll be looking forward, those who are joining us in person, and we'll be live streaming that concert as well. So anyone here on YouTube can tune in or watch that afterwards as well. And speaking of that, we have another premiere coming up in about 20 minutes. This evening, our last of our concerts from the virtual Emerging Artists Showcase for 2022. And we invite everyone to stay tuned and to switch over to that feed here in about 20 minutes or so. And once again, congratulations, Naomi Dumas and Caitlin Kester, AKOYA, for your wonderful performance. And we're really looking forward to seeing what's next for you all.
Thank you so much, David.
Yes, thank you very much for having us and giving us this great opportunity as well.
You're welcome. All right, thank you.
Bye.